What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Can We Talk? Because we definitely want to talk about these basketball wives in Orlando, episode 2, Grand Reopening. Baby. The scene opens up with Miss Ashley doing a photo shoot for her grand reopening of her store. And Ashley is in a basically, what is it called? What is it called? Confessional. And she's rattling off her list of things that she must do for her website and for her store. And side note, Karina is actually one of the models. Did you notice that?
I sure did.
And
That's
she
why she
had
can smile so well.
that's why she can smile so well. I was like, that's Farina. And in walks Tony Snell. They
Oh
dap up and do
boy.
this sideway air kiss. And I'm like, what is that about? There's absolutely no chemistry between the pair. It's like they homegirls, homeboys, homeboy, homegirl. Anyway, it moves on past them to Mackenzie. And Mackenzie is with her baby, with her children, and her dad. And Mackenzie is telling Cece, her daughter, that no, she can't drink her coffee. And Cece hauls off and bops Mackenzie in the nose.
Bop!
Right in the nose. And then her dad makes mention that she's been doing that to him. And he thinks it's because she's been watching those videos. And I'm like, think it may be time to tap some little hands because
Yeah,
no, man,
because she
absolutely no.
didn't get tapped when she bopped her mama. She didn't get tapped for that.
Her mama laughed.
Uh
Her
huh.
mama laughed and then tried to get stern and say no. But child Cece wasn't trying to hear none of that. She wasn't paying Mackenzie no attention
Mm-mm.
at
Nor do these
all.
men. But oh, let me be quiet.
At, do I detect some early shade?
I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna reel it in. I'm gonna reel it in. But it's coming back around.
It's coming back. Anyway, Mackenzie asked her dad if he misses her mom while he's been down in the O, and dad seems a little hesitant. He's like, yeah, of course. And then he says something like, 35 years is a long time to be married to someone. Say what now, Pops?
Ain't that the goal though? To be married forever? To death
That's
do
what
you
I
part?
would think.
So
That's what
how's that a long time?
I, Pops don't seem too happy. That's all I got to say. Pops is just like, it's a long time. But my parents have been married for over 50 years, and I'm thinking that's gold. So,
This is my parents' 50th in November.
wow. Congratulations.
Hmm.
That's awesome.
So yeah, Pops was a little suspect
Yeah,
right there.
he was a little suspect with that. Anyway, Dad brings up the chicken farm. He's been hearing about this chicken farm. And Mackenzie informs him that she doesn't have a chicken farm business, but someone she's seeing owns a chicken farm. And Dad asks for clarity and asks, somebody you're dating? And I don't know why she's being coy with him, but she answers, yeah. And she goes on to state that she's been trying to keep her new relationship quiet and under wraps because her relationship with Dwayne was rocky towards the end. And there was a lot of cheating and lying. And she just kind of wanted to keep this new relationship to herself and make sure that there would be no drama.
But let me come in with the shade real quick. I don't know why her daddy asked her was she dating him. Daddy, you know the daughter you raised. She said it right the first time. The person that she's seeing, because seeing and dating have two different connotations. And I know what type of seeing she doing.
Preach.
I'm I'm just saying she said it right when she said the person I'm seeing.
Mhm.
They see each other.
You have to listen to what people say. You really do. Because
Hmm.
they'll tell you exactly what they mean. Anyway, she goes on to claim that she loves this new guy, but doesn't want to tell the girls because they'll get to making comments, and that's when drama happens. But you were all up in Megan's business trying to get the tea about her and Eric.
Uh-huh.
Child. Anyway, we move on to Morgan, and we get to Morgan's house, and she's leading her daughter into this fabulous birthday party that she planned for her 12th birthday. Side note, Morgan, this is nice.
That was
This is
very,
a
very
nice party.
pretty.
I would love to have that as an adult. That was a nice party.
Very
Ah,
nice.
Anyway, she makes mention that she's still reeling from the Ashley situation and her ex-husband trying to get out of taking care of their children. And if that's true, that is truly sad.
Trifling.
She's yet very. She said it's taken a lot of work to keep a smile on her face. I'm like, Morgan, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm sad that she's dealing with that. But she goes on to say that she's going to do everything in her powers to make sure that her daughter has the best birthday ever and that she provides her with the best ever. And I know that's right, Morgan. You better do your thing, honey. Don't let no monkey stop your show, especially when it comes to your children. Do your thing. But her daughter is just like, wow, how much did this cost? And Morgan, like, don't worry about cost or price because, like you say, the money doesn't matter when it comes to trying to please her kids. And I do believe that, like I said, she's going overboard because of the situation that she's been going through with Eric and then the kids having to go through this transition. So I can understand that.
Hmm.
But the daughter looks just like Morgan. Did you pay attention to that?
I didn't, but I'm glad because I know what the husband looked like, and I'ma just be quiet.
She looks just like Morgan. She's just a little darker than her. Anyway, her family and friends arrive, and I feel like this is a much needed party for Morgan as well because she needs some time to be surrounded with family and friends, and hopefully they can love on her and give her some much needed comfort during this time in her life. Girl, Messy Lindsay arrives at the party.
Nancy.
Messy Lindsay. Child, that heifer comes to the party. And then until she redeems herself, I really don't have anything nice to say about this chick. So I'll move on. We have our first introduction of Danielle Miller. She is the ex fiance of Rashard Vaughn, and who is now Mackenzie's new squeeze.
Let me Google him. See what he looked like.
Danielle and Rashard share two beautiful children together, a 6-year old and a 2-year old. And Morgan asked Danielle how she's enjoying being back in Orlando. And Danielle states that it's bittersweet. And then Morgan goes, but you don't, to my son, but you don't look like it though. She tells me, what I'm looking like, what I'm looking like. I'm like, they're so silly. Anyway, Danielle informs us that she met Morgan while their partners were playing together and that Morgan was one of the NBA ladies that a lot of the ladies looked up to. So they have always had a good relationship. And Morgan sits at this table like she's used to being the HBIC.
Yeah, I gathered that. Especially
Mhm.
when Danielle said that they all looked up to her. But just the way Morgan has carried herself in this episode and the previous one, yeah, Morgan trying to run the show.
Morgan is coming for that head spot. Okay. And it's not going to take much for her to get it because when she and Megan are in the room together, you don't even recognize or really notice Megan.
You don't.
No shade, but it's the truth. So Danielle informs us. No, Danielle asked about the sit down with Ashley, and Morgan says they had a little riff raff. So instead of Ashley just saying she was wrong, Morgan says she's just fake. Neek shows up with her son and Mackenzie's son to the party, and Morgan thanks her for bringing her babies. And Neek mentions that she was surprised that they both let him come. Unto which Danielle asks, Who are they? And she mentions Dwayne. She mentions Dwayne and Mackenzie. And Dale was like, okay. Unto which Nick questions her reaction and she's like, what's that about? And Danielle in the confessional states that she was able to put two and two together that the love triangle had become a hexagon.
I appreciate the math references.
So she asked Neek, saying, you know she's effing my baby daddy. And Neek closes her and Neek was sitting there with her mouth wide open.
Wide open. She could have collected any fly that was in the area.
And I was like, close your mouth, honey, close your mouth.
Now,
I'm
all
like,
in Florida.
thank you. I'm like, you were effing Mackenzie's baby daddy, so why you acting like that? So I'm like, how these hoes be acting like they shocked when they all doing the same thing? I'm like, girl, close your mouth. Over there looking like Jay Leno. Anyway, Danielle states that she asked Rashad and Mackenzie, um, states that she asked Rashad who Mackenzie was because she noticed that he followed her and he acted like she was nobody. Don't they always? Don't they always? Anyway, Lindsay asked Danielle how did she find out that they had actually hooked up. And Danielle says that she got a DM with a picture asking, "Ain't this your baby daddy?" with a picture of them in Tulum.
Baby, them pictures will do you in every time.
Mm, 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 mm. And he lied and said, "I ain't on that picture." And Danielle's like, "We looking at you. We see you on the back of the jet ski." I'm like, "Nigga, it wasn't me." Like, okay.
He could have at least said it was photoshopped. I mean, come on now.
Something. Something. I'm like, "Nigga, it wasn't me." Okay. And then she said, "Baby, we do yachts. We don't do jet skis." And I'm like, "Morgan, you too, baby. Close your mouth. Close your mouth." Like, they all sitting around with mouths hung open. Danielle just came and had the ladies with their mouths dropped. I'm like, okay. So Morgan states in a confessional that when dating an NBA player, the hate comes from all sides, and she wouldn't be surprised if that DM came from Mackenzie, and
I
neither
wouldn't
would
be
I.
surprised either.
And neither would I. I'm telling you, I don't trust Mackenzie. I'm side eyeing that chick. So until she shows me different, I don't trust her. Anyway, Danielle lets the people know that from her understanding, Mackenzie is going around telling everybody that they're in love. And she wants to know, how can you be in love with a man that you just met 3 months ago?
She
Mm.
in love with something, all right.
Eh, she in love with something. So,
Y'all,
neat.
don't be nasty in the comments. I'm just saying she love the money. I wasn't saying nothing else. Y'all keep it cute. Don't be gutter down there.
Well, that ain't what my mind was. But anyway, Neek, Mackenzie's new Mackenzie's new relationship. What am I talking about?
What
Okay,
you
so Dan,
Neek is happy that Mackenzie is with that girl X.
that's it. That's what
He
Neek
ain't got to be
said.
worried about her.
That's exactly what she said. I'm saying I'm happy. She said, "Danny, I'm sorry you're going through this, child, but she's talking about some it's making my life easier." And I'm like, I bet it like heck
And
it
when she
is.
said that,
But
I
she's
bust
still
out
three
laughing.
doors down. So keep your eyes open, honey.
That's true.
Keep your eyes open. Don't get too comfortable. Because this may just be a little plaything until she can ease her way on back up in there with Dwayne. So anyway, Lindsay says, "So do you want to get the timeline straight with her?" What she's basically trying to figure out what Danielle wants to do with Mackenzie. And Danielle's just like, "Yeah, I want to get the timeline." And Lindsay's like, "You just basically want to know if it overlaps." Well, what the heck you think she want to know, Lindsay? So she's like, "Yeah, I'm here to let her know that we were just together, throughout their 5-month relationship, and that she's a side B." Okay. And that's
Dun,
what she
dun,
will be
dun.
known as from hereafter, according to Danielle, the side B. So Lindsay was like, "Well, I know for a fact she doesn't think it overlapped." Why does Lindsay know so much about everybody's business?
Number one, she's messy. Number two, Lindsay wants to be in everybody's conversation so that she can be the mouthpiece in all the other conversations. Because
Mm,
other than that, she has no relevance.
none. None at all.
I know some
So
people like that.
she gets on my nerves. But Morgan asks Danielle, "How do you feel about co-parenting?" And Danielle was like, "Oh, I'm not co-parenting with no B." Said, she ain't got no ring on her finger, no. So
And
I'm like,
production is messy because as soon as she said that, they panned to Neek because Neek don't have no ring on her finger and is up there
exactly.
co-parenting with Mackenzie. I said, "Oh, y'all shady."
And Nico to turn up the cup and sip it. She like, but yeah, they knew exactly what they were doing with that shot. I'm glad you pointed that out because yes, I was like, yeah, Nick, they talking about you. And so Lindsay was talking about, are you gonna be okay with her being around? What you think? I mean, it's like you're asking a bunch of dumb questions.
That was very dumb.
Just sit back and try to be cute, okay? So Danielle was like, in the circle? Oh yeah, she's gonna be invisible.
Danielle, you lying.
Okay, exactly, and that's what Morgan. She's talking about. Some, I don't believe you, bitch. I'm like, and I said, and neither do I, because I'm like, that's about like um Morgan when she said last week that she's okay with Ashley being around. It's just she don't believe that Ashley's gonna be okay with her presence, and she was the one who nutted out at the
Morgan was
brunch.
lying.
Lies, lies. So we switch over to Milan and she shows off her drills and her skills on the basketball court. And she made her own way and she turned her passion into money. You go, girl. And all I got to say for that is y'all find your niche and make it pay you. Okay? Find your niche and make it pay you. And that's exactly what she did. So she lets us preview a little history of how she grew up. And she said that she has 13 siblings and they grew up poor, sometimes without food, water. They had bed bugs, roaches, and a lot of things that just could affect the child's self esteem. And I cannot imagine growing up in those conditions. She said that producing content basically helped her to focus and help her pretty much get her life together. And that was very inspirational. And I love that for Milan. I love that for her. Anything for you on that part?
No comment.
Okay. So we switch over to Ashley. Ashley's at home and she's a little under the weather, but she's still hustling on her business and trying to get it up and popping. Now, the thing that got me about this scene is that it was a whole lot going on. They took the kids out and she's laying up on the couch on the phone and the tea kettle starts to whistle. And she thought that she heard her son screaming and she was worried because he's out supposedly taking swimming lessons. But not once did she jump up off that couch. She was just looking around on the couch. Not one time. But I'm like, I guess we all parent differently because had it been my child and I thought they were screaming, and if you notice how a tea kettle goes, it gets louder and louder and louder. Ain't no way in the world I could have still been on that couch twisting around trying to figure out what's going on. I would have been out that door like Superman. But I was just figuring maybe that's just a rich person's pleasure. They can be able to do that because they're used to having other people take care of their kids. But I'm not used to that. I'm used to having to be right there, Johnny on the spot. But I really don't know because as a mother of three, I can tell we would be out to the park and I could hear my kids screaming and I could tell when it was my child over all of those kids on the playground. A mother knows her child scream, holler, cry. And she heard a tea kettle and thought it was her child. That to me was like, girl, what are you doing? What are you doing? And how much time do you really spend with these kids?
That was my thought.
Hmm.
And maybe that's why she have all the time in the world to be in everybody else's business and everybody else's relationship and playing matchmaker for everybody else's husband.
Oh, maybe, just maybe, because she obviously has a lot of other time on her hand because she's serving up bitches, excuse me, to these men. So,
I'm gonna call her Madam Ashley.
Madam Ashley, there you go. Madam. You remember Madam from I don't even know if you ever saw that. Solid Gold,
Never
that
saw.
puppet girl. I'm gonna have to send you a picture of Madam from Solid Gold. But Madam Ashley. Anyway, Megan meets Danielle and tells her that Nikki and Lindsay are supposed to come. She states that Lindsay seems nice-ish. Nice-ish. Is that how you say it? Nice-ish. Like, is that a word? So she mentions how at Morgan's golfing event, it was extremely draining. And then it switches over to her confessional, and she's mentioning how Lindsay told everyone at the golfing event how she used to mess with Morgan's ex-husband. And Megan in her confessional says, before you start allegedly alleging things, fact check, sis. No one slept with or messed with Morgan's ex-husband. She said, you don't even know me, except all those girls actually fed up to him. She know about them. So you just wasn't one of them.
Mm,
I'm like, mm, mm, mm. So Danielle lets Morgan know that she's stressed being in the O and that she misses her babies. And she states that they're with Rashad and it's his time over the summer to have them. But co parenting is hard considering what she knows and has found out. And to that, I say, if he hasn't been abusive to those babies and he's a good, attentive father, girl, let him be a dad. Whatever y'all are going through, that needs to be between y'all, and it does not need to include the kids. I hate it when people use their children as pawns in relationships to try to hurt one another because, in the end, the person or people that you're really hurting, it's the kids.
True,
It's the
true.
kids. And I ain't gonna even bring up Nikki Bott
Oh,
and Jamie Perkins. But anyway, if y'all ain't heard about that, go look at Jamie Perkins' video on why he left Nikki Thought. That was just a side note. Anyway,
he left that thought.
you say what now?
Why he left that thought?
Why he left that thought, Nikki Thought. Anyway, Danielle goes on to say that she and Rashad have been seeing a therapist to discuss their co-parenting situation, but it's hard being in a having to be around his new situation when they have two babies to raise.
What I found funny about this is when she said it, she was like, his new girlfriend or whatever, a partner or whatever. But when she said girlfriend, she did them air quotes. I was like, oh, okay,
She is
Danielle,
not.
I see what you serving here.
I see what you serving. So Megan says, apparently Mackenzie, Rat Kenzie, Snitch Kenzie, Ratatouille, and then Danny says one of many. And so they decided to call her Ratatouille one of many. Went and told Morgan that while they were jumping down her throat about Rashard, there are other girls here effing people's boyfriends.
Now, see, this is
So
what I don't like. People have something on you, and instead of taking accountability or defending yourself, you just gonna throw other people out there.
throw other people under the bus to get the heat off of you.
Like, girl,
So trifling. So trifling. So Megan found out that Mackenzie was the one that passed her business on to Morgan about Eric, and they showed the flashback to prove it. So Nikki walks up and they inform her about the triangle hexagon love affair that's going on. And then Lindsay walks up. Immediately, Megan's face gets tight.
but let's go back to Nikki. Poor Nikki, she can't even keep up with what's going on. I
She
say it
can't.
is so many shenanigans that even y'all telling the story and y'all telling it factually, but it's so many shenanigans. She is lost.
She is lost. She needs to be around a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
so that she can keep up with this foolishness. Because I'm telling you, I'm watching the show a couple of times to try to get this review out, and I'm lost. I'm like, what the? This is too much. It's just too much. Just can't. So Megan's face gets tight as soon as Lindsay walks up. And you can tell that Lindsay is so super excited to be pregnant because she makes it a point for it to be a topic in every scene. She came up
I
talking about
felt Megan. I was feeling Megan because her face got tight when Lindsay came, and I rolled my eyes when Lindsay came.
I rolled my eyes when she go to sit down talking about look at the baby. It's gotten bigger since I saw you. I'm like, girl, you only 4 months pregnant. Chill out. You're barely showing. I'm like, stop. And so she's talking to Danielle. And then Nikki asked her if she has any other children already. And she's like, no, this is my first. And Nikki congratulates her. And immediately, Morgan, like, all right, let's cut. She interrupts them. And she's like, Lindsay. She lets Lindsay know that she hurt her feelings at Morgan's golf event. And she called her out to be about being a husband effer. And Lindsay's face was like, don't act shocked. Don't act shocked. Don't act like you ain't know it was coming. And so she lets her know that she didn't know Morgan that well and she had only met her once, and that she didn't know her enough to tell, she didn't know her that well, and that she didn't know her, and that it was rude for her to bring that out at that moment, and it was.
It was very rude. Like, I don't even know you, and you are trying to say something about me that's not true. You don't know if it's true, and you didn't even think to pull me aside to see if it had any truth to it, and you just gonna spray it across the table.
Just sprayed it. She heard Morgan, because what actually happened, I noticed it. I was like, okay, so she was standing right there when Mackenzie was telling Morgan outside of the little golf thing. Remember when they were getting ready to run inside? And not Megan, Mackenzie pulled Morgan aside, and Lindsay had her behind right after, because I was trying to figure out, how does Lindsay know this information? So she was out there listening when Mackenzie was out there ratting it out to so it was actually Mackenzie who had already told Morgan, and then Lindsay sprayed it at the table.
But here's the thing, Lindsay, where do you really fit in this equation? Because if Mackenzie is the one who initially said it in your presence, why do you need to be at the table opening your mouth about anything? It ain't your tea to come bring.
It's
Why are
very
you
true.
telling anything?
It's not. I guess you want to have something, some
Girl.
kind of something to do. So I guess she decided she'd be the messy one, or
Mm.
one of many. Ratatouille, one of many. You get it? Okay. Anyway,
They gonna get
so
dealt with when she dropped that baby. She better stop playing.
she better stop playing. So Lindsay states that she understood where Megan was coming from, and she thought that since they were all going to be around each other, it needed to come out. Megan told her that was a little aggressive, and Lindsay tries to laugh it off, talking about some, well, she's been known to be aggressive, and she apologized because she means well, and she's a genuine person.
That's
Like,
not
oh,
an apology.
mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. I was like, child, ain't no way. So Danielle commended her on being, she commended Megan on being vulnerable and sharing how she felt. And I say, bravo, Megan, because I can
Yes,
see her trying.
I thought Megan was gonna take that total different direction.
I did too. I did too. That's why I say bravo. I can definitely commend her on that, because just a little truth about me not being a girl's girl, because all my friends were always guys. I never really got along with girls that well. I couldn't do the cattiness. I can't do the back and forth, the jealousy and all that. And with guys, you never had that, foolishness and back and forth. You didn't feel like you had to compete. So I can't really say that I'm a girl's girl. I like who I like, which is not many people. I get along with who I get along with, which is not many people, which is pretty much why I'm a loner. And I like you because we're pretty much the same person.
Yeah.
So, we're both straight shooters. We tell it like it is. Your feelings get hurt. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. And that's just who I am. And I can appreciate people who are real and who are genuine. So again, me not being a girl's girl, I felt like, and I'm very protective of my space, my feelings, my emotions. I can definitely understand how hard that may have been for Megan. So
Hmm.
kudos to her. Kudos to her. Because when my feelings are hurt, I come out striking. So I'm gonna work on me too a little bit, Megan. If you do better this whole season, I'm gonna wait and see though.
Girl,
But
now
anyway,
now you know better.
you can always hope. You can always hope.
Okay.
Well, she is trying to be the new Shawnee, and Shawnee messy, so I'm just saying. Kenzie and Morgan meet for drinks, and Mackenzie admits that she sat down with Ashley, and that Ashley filled her in on everything that happened at the meetup with her between her and Morgan. And she states that there seems to be a divide with the team, and there's Team Ashley and Team Morgan. Well, Mackenzie, we already know which side you took.
Mhm.
So, what's the purpose of this meetup with Morgan is what I'm trying to figure out. I'm really just I don't know if she's just scared of Morgan and she don't want Morgan to fire on her or what, but
She is scared of Morgan because she followed it up by talking about it seems like you're in a good mood.
yeah.
That makes me
Yeah.
excited.
So Morgan comes in all smiles and she's like, telling Mackenzie, "You look good. I like your makeup." And Morgan, dumbass, excuse me, checking my son, "Ooh, you seem like you're in a good mood. That makes me so excited." Like you just said, she was all giddy. And I'm like, "Nigga, what is that? What is that?" Because that right there would have immediately put me in a, so bitch, what you trying to say?
Well, Morgan did get put in that position.
She did. So Morgan said, "Should I not be?" What you
And
doing?
the way her face changed when she said that, I say, "Oh, okay. I see what time it is now."
Mhm. Exactly. So Mackenzie goes on to say, "The last few times I've seen you, there's been so much drama."
Red
I'm like,
flag. So you saying I'm the
nah, exactly. So I was like, now this is where you
yeah,
effed up.
but I mean, still.
It is. But if you're trying to make amends with somebody, this is not what you come to the table saying. Especially
No.
if you're trying to see, what's up between us. Why am I bringing up what's up between, what you've done the previous times? I would have just been like, "What's up?" The same way Morgan did Ashley when she showed up. I'm like, "Child, please." So anyway, Mackenzie tells Morgan that the last few times she's seen her, it's felt like there's like she's had a problem with her. You think?
Like,
You
I mean,
chose sides. You clearly chose sides.
hmm
So Morgan told her that she jumped to Ashley's defense when they were at the table talking about her. She states that Mackenzie is choosing to be friends with Ashley, and Morgan states that she has been friends with Danielle and that they just can't be friends. So at this point, I felt like Morgan's feelings are hurt because she feels abandoned once again, first by her ex and now by Mackenzie. So she threw Danielle in the conversation to basically try to come back at Mackenzie. What do you think about that? And to let her know that she's
I
choosing
can
Danielle over her.
I can see that, but then I also felt her feelings are hurt, but I also felt like she was really real for saying that because she was like, "Okay, you over there with Ashley, but you want to make amends with me and you want to feel like there's no drama, but you know I'm cool with Danielle and I know what y'all got going on. So if you want to go over there, I'm gonna just be over here because she's been a better friend to me than you."
Point, point.
So
Absolutely.
I'm just like she really just put the cards on the table because she peeped game to see what Mackenzie is doing. Because here's the thing: let's say Mackenzie and Morgan ironed it out and they were like, "Okay, we're gonna be cool, yada yada yada. We can still be friends." The minute Danielle get into it with Mackenzie and Morgan try to stay neutral, or it's like, "Well, you kind of wrong in this situation," Mackenzie is gonna be mad.
Mhm.
But Mackenzie will get mad, but she'll feel like Morgan is doing her wrong, but she don't see how she did Morgan.
True. True.
So I'm just like, at some point, you got to put the cards on the table. And Morgan was just a little too real for her.
She is very real. That's why I can appreciate her. I'm like a lot of people I hear a lot of people saying they don't like her. I like Morgan. I mean, she got a little bit of you can calm the hell down that needs to go on, but I can appreciate her candor. Let me put it that way.
And she needs to calm down that silver eyeshadow. Okay, I'm going to be quiet.
Ooh. So Morgan in her confessional states that she doesn't have a personal problem with Mackenzie, but she can't be friends with someone that is jumping ship to be friends with Ashley. She states that they can be cordial and kiki over drinks, but they are absolutely not friends. Do you really think that they can be cordial?
No.
Because she said the same thing now almost about Ashley. And the next time she saw her,
hmm
they were arm wrestling.
Exactly.
I'm like, girl,
Morgan is saying these cute little things of what she thinks sounds good at the time, but Morgan, you lied to yourself, baby.
a lot. Like, you gotta stop. You gotta stop this. Because honey, ain't none of us believe in that. Anyway, uh Morgan states that she feels some energy coming from Mackenzie. Not, yeah. Morgan states that she feels some energy coming from Mackenzie, and Mackenzie's like she feels some, and she's felt some energy the last few times she's seen Morgan. Anyway, they're going back and forth, and Morgan starts acting childish with them looks, and I'm like, don't do that. And she states that she don't care nothing about what Mackenzie has going on. She doesn't have a problem with her, but if it continues to get sticky, well, we're gonna have to get sticked up.
I was like, oh, okay. But to be
I'm like,
honest, it shouldn't even gone there because you done already said you chose Ashley. I'm choosing Danielle. Why the conversation wasn't dead then?
it should have been, but she always say that she fine with somebody. But Morgan be low key looking for a little fight.
She do.
So she let Mackenzie know that she's not trying to be besties with anyone that is friends with Ashley, and she walked off and left a perfectly good drink sitting on the table untouched. And I considered it to be alcohol abuse. I had a problem with that. I liked you up until that point, Morgan, during your time.
I felt
So
like this whole scene was really showing that Mackenzie does not like to be rejected. She don't like
she
to be
does.
rejected by a man, and she doesn't want to be rejected by a woman in the whole friend scene because
That
she kept asking questions that Morgan already answered. Mackenzie was like, in her confessional, she's like, the problem is that Morgan doesn't like me because I'm friends with Ashley. No shit, she told you that to her face. Your face, like, what are you doing? Like several times, she was just like, I, girl, Kenzie is slow.
she
Several times,
is.
Morgan will tell her something, and then Mackenzie will come back with something because Morgan straight up said, we can't be friends. And she says, well, I mean, when we get together, we could still be friendly. What don't you understand about what I just told you?
Honey. I'm like, okay. But yeah, Mackenzie seems like a pick me. She really does. She
Mm-hmm.
has that pick me mentality. And I'm like, girl, just stick with Ashley here until she serves up your man Rashad to somebody else.
She will.
Okay. So Milan calls her sisters because they're getting out of hand and doing stuff that they have no business doing. They ran away, went to Miami, and crashed a rental car, and then called Milan to rescue them. She encourages them to let them know that she understands that they've been through a lot, but they're not what they've been through. And so I felt like that was a very good scene, very telling. Um, that she is a very caring and loving sister. She tells them that she tells them that I have told well, she's telling them stuff that I've told my sons on several occasions. And I've always told and shared with them that they don't have to make all of the mistakes. They can actually learn from somebody else's. They can learn from my mistakes. They can learn from their father's mistakes. They can learn from other adults' mistakes that they've been around. And all they have to do is listen, you know what I'm saying, to some of our experiences. And you can make a better decision based off of that. You don't have to make all of the mistakes yourself. Learn to listen, make better decisions, and choose better for yourself because I always tell my sons, you end up in jail over something stupid, don't call me because I'm not coming down there to bail you out. I will not. Now I say if you end up in, jail because of something you've had to do to protect yourself or to save yourself, I got you 100 all day long. But if you're out there being stupid, your ass is going to sit, and I mean it. So that's what I always say. You don't have to make all of the mistakes yourself. You can learn from others and make a better decision. Anyway, Mulan lets us know that her mom isn't really as present as she should be because she's dealing with the death of her brother, and that she realizes that her sisters are suffering because of them not really getting the attention that they need, and that she understands that at this age how going through those things can really affect them. So she offers to have them come down for the summer to hang out with her. And hopefully, she can give them some much needed love and attention while they're there in her care. And I pray that it works out and that they can learn to travel a better road and make better decisions. Because when I think about them traveling to Miami as young as they were in a car and all of this trafficking that's going on of young women, that scares the crap out of me. I'm like, these young ladies are beautiful. They're very vulnerable, they're very young, and they're putting themselves in predicaments that is extremely dangerous. And I really hope that, you know what I'm saying, Mulan can get to them in that head while she has them, and that they'll actually make better decisions in terms of turnaround. Any thoughts?
No, you covered it all.
Well, all right. So we get to Ashley's grand reopening of her store. All I want to know again, what's up with her and Tony dabbing each other up in the side air kisses? What the freak is that?
So it's one or two things. Um, maybe he's not comfortable with the camera,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe he ain't into her.
Hmm.
But
Well,
you
he
know,
doesn't look
I'm
like he's
not in a marriage,
comfortable.
so no.
I'm sorry.
I said I'm not in a marriage, so don't let me speculate. Somebody gonna be in the comments talk about you don't know them people.
Y'all shut the hell up. This is our opinion. Y'all can say y'all's too. Just be respectful. Anyway, so she goes in and she greets all her guests and Messy Lindsay walks in and she comes in with Ratatouille, one of many Rat Kenzie. And Ashley greets them and immediately is apparent that she doesn't know Lindsay. Did you notice that?
Yep.
Because at first I was thinking that maybe Lindsay had sat down and Ashley had informed her of all this stuff when she came talking about Eric's business. And
Mm,
that's what I realized. I was like, so it was Morgan. I went back and I watched it again. I was like, the confessional. I mean, not the confessional, flashback.
the flashback, yeah.
Hmm. So anyway, Messy compliments Ashley's jumpsuit, and Ashley compliments Messy's shoes, and then she asks if they're comfortable. And once again, she has to go into, well, I'm preggers. Oh my God, Lindsay, you are not the only pregnant person. Congratulations. Now let's move the hell on. I'm like, goodness, she 4 months pregnant, and you would swear she was in her, she was 6 months or 7 or 8 months pregnant. I'm just like, girl, okay. So obviously, this is the only storyline she has. She's pregnant, and I'm going to be messy.
Mm.
Okay. So anyway, Ashley states that the grand reopening is going well and that she thinks the keeping the riffraff off the guest list has served her well.
In other words, Morgan.
In other words, Morgan. But wait.
But I thought she says Morgan is never on her mind.
Always, apparently.
Okay.
Always. I'm like, but wait, because Megan walks in with Big Country. I'm like, Nikki, why? Just why? And it's obvious that she has no friends on this show. She came in with those way too little short song and that crop top and them rolls hanging from under the crop top. And I was just like, you're headed to an event and this is how you dress? Okay. Okay. Maybe it was a Chicago thing, but I don't know. I didn't like it. And I ain't like Megan not pulling her to the side and say, hey, you may want to go change. But anyway, she Megan informs Ashley that she invited Danielle and she goes and asks after the fact if that's okay. It's a little late to be asking now. And
Mhm.
so Ashley goes to stumbling over her words and she just telling us how she allowed, them to have a plus one and blah, 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 blah. Long story short, she lets her come and she tells her it's no issue, but she kind of defers to Mackenzie. It's no issue basically if you don't have an issue. And Mackenzie's like, I don't have an issue, but she just wants to basically speak with her if she's open to it.
Mackenzie, you lying because as soon as that girl got there, you said you was uncomfortable.
As soon as.
So my
So
thing
basically,
is, not to cut you off, but here's my thing with it. Ashley, you up here saying, I mean, I don't have an issue with it, but uh, as long as Mackenzie doesn't have an issue with it, Ashley, you scary. It's your event. You said you wanted to keep it classy and keep riffraff out, but you can't make a decision on whether you're gonna let this girl in or not when you know that she has a problem with your friend Mackenzie. So in order for the you not to take the heat, you put it on Mackenzie. So now it's I don't have an issue. If Mackenzie doesn't have an issue, Mackenzie don't want to look bad. So it's I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue. But I would like to talk to her. Girl, you don't want to talk to her. You don't even want to smoke. You uncomfortable. So why are you even opening your mouth saying that? If you was a real one, you would have just been like, look, sis, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't want her to be here. That's all you had to do.
That's all. Because I was like, I don't want the whole here. That would have been me. I don't want to hear because I don't want to mess up your thing because I already know where it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, they're so scary. They're so scary. So, anyway, Megan goes into her confessional and she admits to knowing that inviting Danielle is problematic.
So you're being messy.
She being messy. But since Mackenzie is dating her ex fiance, she feels like they need to figure it out and all be mature adults. I'm like, okay, so now you're
Megan,
being
you
messy,
know how this
Lindsay.
works. You know how this works. This is not your first rodeo, sweetie.
Mm-mm, at all. So Megan walks outside as soon as she sees Danielle coming up, and she's like basically telling her she's been waiting on her. And Danielle's like, not to walk out. What happened? I said, not to walk out. So Megan lets her know that everything is going well. It's nice and professional, and that Mackenzie does want to talk to her. So she wants Danny to conduct herself like a lady. Unto which Danny says, states master's degree. I'm like, what the hell that mean?
That she
And
mastered the fact of being a lady.
child, please, she's
Girl, you
mastered
lying.
how to talk trash. That's what she's mastered. So they walk in and Megan introduces Danny to Ashley, and Danny serves up a very cold exchange. But I felt like Ashley was actually very professional.
Mm-hmm.
So Mackenzie states that she feels on edge with Danny walking in because the only convo they've ever had was through DM, and Danny was upset that Kenzie and I'm just gonna call the boy Shad because I'm tired of saying Rashad. Shad were together. I'm like, now this heifer said that she wishes they weren't all in Orlando. And she wishes that they weren't in that tiny store together. And I'm like, now wait a minute.
But you didn't have
So you're uncomfortable with a very temporary hangout in the store together, but you were comfortable enough to move 3 doors down from your ex and his new boo thing.
make it make sense.
Make it make sense. I'm like, and I say, what now? Kenzie gone somewhere with that because ain't nobody got time for it. I'm like, gone. Like Phaedra, go away from me with that. Like, no, she did not. You're uncomfortable for a few hours, maybe, in this gathering, but you move your behind 3 doors down from this girl you were just beefing with this summer over the same thing that you're doing right now to this young lady.
Because she doesn't care if Neek's uncomfortable or not. It's all about the comfort of Mackenzie.
That's it. Anyway, Mulan comes walking in, and I just feel like she is so pretty in this scene, even though she still has a diaper booty. The girl is gorgeous.
She's a very gorgeous girl.
She
Very
is
gorgeous. She just
so
needs
pretty.
that booty fixed. That's all.
She just need to get that booty fixed. Meanwhile, Danny's talking to Ashley, letting her know that she's Morgan's friend, but she'd like to get to know Ashley for herself and get her own, form her own opinion.
Now I
Which
did like that because a
I
lot
did.
of times people will not do that.
They will not.
I
And
don't think
to
Danielle gonna do it, but I like the statement.
you say you like where she was going with that, huh?
Mhm. Do I
So
believe
Ashley,
her? No.
I don't. I do not believe that because she's too much like Morgan,
Mm-hmm.
and they are really in their feelings, and I get it. I get it, but don't just be throwing stuff against the wall and see what stick. So Ashley says thank you, and again, Megan interrupts the pleasantries to address that she feels like Danny and Kenzie need to go talk, and she
Maybe
tells her to come on. Megan's being messy again, and she tells her to come on, and Danielle states, "I ain't going to no side B."
and she says it so loud.
Loud, and then Kenzie turns around and says, "He said that you called me that, but all right." And Danny said he should have told you. He should have warned you. Like, okay. So Kenzie huffs and strokes her hair and rolling her eyes and tells Ashley, save me in your phone as side B. She probably already got you saved as that.
I was about to say that.
I'm like, girl, go ahead and ask her. Just let me see your phone. You were already in there as that. Because she's gonna serve you up to somebody next. Girl, please. Anyway, maybe Ashley set her up with Rashad. What you think?
You know what? That's not far fetched.
That's not. Hmm. So anyway, Danny's like, yeah, savoring your phone inside B, please. That'll be the best thing for her. I'm like, they heifers. So Kenzie's like, a side B is somebody who messes with someone in a relationship. I never did that. Say what?
Mackenzie, why you up here lying?
So this is what gets me. Now, just last week, when she had Neek step outside of her apartment because she wanted to talk to her, she stated how she and Dwayne were in a relationship when they started. But she can understand that he probably lied to her and said that they weren't because that's what men do. But Rashad is incapable of doing the same thing.
Mm.
That it,
Like I said, it's all about the comfort of Mackenzie. Everything is about Mackenzie. It only works in Mackenzie's favor, never in anybody else's.
Never. Never, never, ever. So anyway, Danny goes on to show her all the screenshots. And they go back and forth for a while. And Danny states that if she's not going to start with accountability, then she doesn't want to hear it. And she says, you were just in Neat's position last year and was.
Yeah, well, she
Unto
got a
that,
point
with,
there.
huh?
So she got a point there.
She got a point. But Kenzie didn't want to hear none of that. She's like, I'm not doing any of this. I'm not doing this. I'll have a proper sit down and talk, but I'm not doing this because the truth came out and she don't want to get slapped with the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So of course I'm not doing this. And you're not going to do it if she was to sit down with you because again, you don't want to admit the truth. So just call a thing and say, yeah, it happened to me and now I'm doing it to you. Just stop. So Danny is like, I'm happy for y'all. He in love. He loves girls he can manipulate and lie to. Me and Rashad talk every day though.
My
I'm
thing
sitting here
is,
like,
Dan,
so were
why
you
would
one of the ones that he lied to and manipulated?
exactly if that's the girls he loves and he was with you for a long time and y'all still talking every day, he
Every
manipulating
day.
you too.
Mhm. Excuse me. So she goes on to scroll through the phone to show her all her calls. And I'm like, ma'am, y'all have two very young children together. I'm sure y'all do talk every day, especially considering that your kids are with him for the summer. What what are you doing? That proved nothing to me. Because if my daughter was, or let's say my husband and I were no longer together, and my husband had my daughter for the summer, you think I ain't calling to talk to her every day?
You will be. Hmm.
Or a day, couple of times a day. Whoever you with, be prepared to be sick of me because I'm calling my baby. It ain't about him. It's about my baby at that point. So that really proved nothing to me. Anyway, she gets in a confessional to say that Rashad tells her that he loves her and that she's his world every other day because he's a master manipulator. And I'm trying to figure out again, is that supposed to be a flex?
Because it's really not. It really
It
just made you look stupid.
because you're allowing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, child, if the actions don't match the words, they are just that, some empty words. So stop. Everything she's trying to make a point with is making her look stupid at this point.
Yep.
Oh my God. So they argue some more, and Danny states that Kenzie is not going to bully her out of a man's life that she's known for 8 years. Nothing? Okay, neither do I.
Danielle's embarrassing herself.
And Kenzie's like, I don't want to. I want you in his life. And Danny's like, you're not going to stalk me like you stalked Neat. And then Kenzie goes on to say, I'm not a bully. And Ashley finally tries to rein these heifers in. And Kenzie states that when Danny calms down, she'd love to have a conversation with her. Unto which Danny replies that she's as calm as she's going to get with her. And I do believe it. I think she's just going to get angrier.
Mhm.
So Ashley shuts down the event and Meg starts yelling bye after after interrupting and messing up this whole event. I'm like, child. So what I like to know is this a part of the contract for them to act up and ruin everybody's event?
It has to be because it happens on every season of Basketball Wives. It gotta be.
It's not just basketball housewives, Black Ink, any of these reality
Mhm.
shows, whenever they have a big event, somebody's gonna get in there and show they behind and they got to fight and have a blowout and ruin the event.
To be
Every single
honest,
time.
I think that production, the show, pays for these women to put these events on so that the drama can be served up. I don't
Mm.
think these women are coming out of their pocket for events that they know are going to be messed up.
I don't think so. They can't. I wouldn't, but I believe that it's a part of we will feature, your business on the show,
Hmm.
but you already know that it's gonna go down and it's gonna be some mess. It's just every single time. And I don't even know if I would put my business out there to be a part of that foolishness.
I'm just like,
I don't know. Anyway, Ashley's in a confessional and she's like, I don't know what Megan was thinking bringing Danielle here. She's Morgan's friend. Again, I thought you don't think about Morgan.
yeah, what do this situation even have to do with Morgan?
Morgan wasn't even there. She had absolutely nothing to do with this. It was your side B friend that had a problem with somebody else.
Hmm.
Now, if you want to be mad at Megan, be mad at Megan. But leave Morgan out of it. So she thanks everyone that came out and that did not start drama. And Mackenzie states that her favorite side bitch came out. And I was just like, give it a rest. Because
Yeah.
at this point, it's not cute. You wait until Danny leaves to get funny, and it's not funny.
Hmm.
So Megan, Danny, and Big Country walk out, and Messy Megan is pumping up Danny, telling her that she did her 1-2 thing.
Megan used a lie. You know that girl embarrassed herself.
So I'm just trying to figure out was all of that be on your best behavior a bunch of bull that she served us?
Yes.
Had to be. So I was about to talk trash about Morgan always being in a bathing suit in this next scene, but I'd probably just be hating because if I had a pool, I'd stay in a bathing suit too. So I'm gonna leave Morgan alone about that. Wear your bathing suit, girl. Anyway, Danny comes over to Morgan's house and they go drink by the pool and talk about the grand opening or
Yeah, Morgan.
reopening.
Morgan didn't waste no time. She was like, "Girl, what happened?"
Girl, what happened? And Danny tells her all about um Ashley, about how Ashley seemed nice, unto which Morgan rolls her eyes because she didn't appreciate that. And Danny states that Megan tried to get her to talk to Kenzie and that she told her she wasn't talking to no side B. And Morgan got her a good kiki out of that.
She sure
she
did.
she did. She told her that Kenzie yelled, "He told me you would say that." And Danny said that she just blacked out at that point. You believe it?
But here's the thing: Danielle knew why she was coming to that event. She was coming to that event to get at Mackenzie. She accomplished what she set out to do, but she shouldn't have set out to do that because you just made yourself look stupid.
She really did. It wasn't a good look, especially for our first introduction of you,
Uh-uh.
girl. Mm-mm. So Danny states that Kenzie doesn't deserve her respect because she played side B for months, and now she cannot understand her. Wait, what my notes say here? Says she played side B for months, and how she cannot understand her when she was just in Nick's position. That's true. So she starts to cry and she starts to talk about how she put her personal dreams and aspirations aside to support Rashad. She almost lost her life across seas just so that she could have her baby over there, just so that he could be there at the time her child was born, and that he's dating another girl in her face, especially when they were just together a week ago before she got to Orlando.
So what do that tell us? He loves girls he can manipulate. You was just with him a week ago before you got there, and you the newest one to the city.
And you already knew about Mackenzie for months.
Mm-hmm. So my thing is, let's look at the timeline as the way both of them explain it. Danielle is with Rashad. He becomes her ex fiance. We don't know if they become ex fiancés while Mackenzie has started messing with it or not. We really unclear because one say one thing, one say the other. But let's say they are ex fiancés because they're ex fiancés. Mackenzie's with them. You know about Mackenzie. You've seen the pictures. You said that they met 3 months ago. Then you didn't have your math right because you said they met 3 months ago. Then you said they've been together 5 months. But you're acknowledging that you know that they're together and that this is your ex. But you was just with him a week before you moved to Orlando. So who really the side bitch?
Oh.
I'm just saying. I pick up on these things.
Mm. Hold on.
Thank you. Far too kind.
You're far too kind for bringing that up because that's so true. Oh my
But
God.
he loves girls he can manipulate. That's why he like both of y'all.
That's why he likes them. What a good wrap up, friend. That was good. Oh, that was good. Danny, it's not looking good, hunty. Not looking good at all. Are you a side B too? Should we get y'all shirts, side B 1, 2, and 3 for Unique and Mackenzie?
You know?
Hmm. Okay. Anyway, Morgan states that she gets labeled as bitter, but most of the time, it's whenever she's talking to Eric, it's about the kids. When her and Eric get into it, it's about the kids, and that they are worth her emotions and her fighting for. What do you think about it?
So I do agree that what they do really need to be talking about is the kids. You can tell that Morgan is very emotional. I do believe that talking about the kids is hard for both of them because the two of them don't get along, and that's why they're in therapy. But
Mm,
I'd be lying if I sat here and I didn't say, Morgan, the most of your emotions with this is because you have not taken the time to heal.
mhm.
You want to argue about everything. You want to be mad at Ashley, which you have a right to, but you're spending too much energy on it. You are hurt. You've been hurt. Your heart is in a million pieces. Ain't nothing gonna get better for you until you seek deliverance and get that heart of yours healed. And it just is what it is. She not gonna make no progress unless she starts that healing process. And it's like you can't start it because you're too busy going back and forth with everybody else.
That's true. She's too busy focused on the hurt and on what Ashley did. She'll, yeah, she's gonna be stuck there for a minute until she can let that go. And like I said last week, you're giving her too much space in your head. I would not be studying Ashley with her dried up looking self because one thing I do believe, what goes around comes around.
Mm-hmm.
She gonna
And
get hers.
yeah, and people got to remember forgiveness is not for the other person. Morgan
Mm-mm.
got to learn that.
True. True that. True that. So Danny and Morgan share their hurts. They cry and console each other. And personally, I'm really glad that they can be there for each other. But what I hope they don't do is continue to feed each other's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That they'll actually, you know, take their experiences and grow from them, and not sit and fester in that foolishness and continue to feed each other, with the anger and stuff, and show their behinds and act like fools.
Correct.
Danny states that they don't know, that the other girls don't know what it feels like to be in their shoes, but one day they might. And I beg to differ because Ashley may not know, but Mackenzie definitely knows but she still chose the route that she chose.
Mhm.
And for that, I have no understanding. And I'm done. Anything else from you?
That was pretty much it. I will say, Shawnee did a good job casting these ladies. She found all of these love triangles because she messy herself and she wanted to provide a messy show. So Orlando is bringing it.
Orlando's casting is brilliant. It's brilliant. They are definitely bringing it, and it is definitely entertaining. And so I actually I let the shows record first because I'm not doing commercials, and I actually watch Basketball Wives first, and then I go back and watch LA.
So I watch LA first and then I watch Orlando because I feel like if I watch Orlando first, I'm some weeks I might get to LA and be like, I don't want to watch this. This ain't as juicy as the other one. So I keep Orlando last.
Girl, I be trying to hurry up and watch Orlando because the whole time I'm watching LA, I can't concentrate because I want to know what them heifers doing over in Orlando. So I have to go ahead and get that out of the way. That's my guilty pleasure. Then I go back and I watch LA, and I'm just like, okay, all right. But Evelyn got crunk, so it was pretty good. You know
It
what I'm
was.
saying? It was pretty good. So I'll give them ladies over in LA some days. Like, they ain't gonna let these little young heifers outdo them. So we gonna see what they bringing in LA. And we just want to thank you guys for spending this time with us and ask that you please like the video, comment below respectfully, please. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on your notification bells, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.
Bye.